Today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips on how to learn the single plane golf swing. I've been teaching the single plane golf swing for almost 25 years now, and I've found a way to simply customize this so that people can learn it much more quickly and with less pain. These are the steps that I recommend people take in trying out the single plane golf swing for the fastest success possible. So I've been lucky to work with thousands of people like yourself, and my top goal is always help people improve quickly. My goal is that you go to the range and hit the ball better, you go on the golf course and you play better as fast as possible. Not that you spend countless hours and months and years trying to exactly copy another individual, be it Moe Norman or Bryson DeChambeau. Based on my experience, it's just not possible to exactly copy another person. So do me a big favor while you're here, click that red subscribe button below this video and hit the bell to accept notifications as new videos come out so that you can keep up with my content. It helps my channel a lot. And also click that thumbs up button. That also helps my channel grow. So you can see me warming up a little bit here, and I'm just loosening up, hitting a few shots, and I'm going to go through here step by step exactly what you need to do. I'm going to give you my top 5 steps for how to get started learning the single plane golf swing. For more information, of course, visit my website, link below in the description. So the first step that you need to follow to play single plane golf is to raise your hands. Meaning here at setup is the conventional method. The conventional setup has the hands hanging below the shoulders. All I want you to do without changing anything else is simply raise the hands up. In so doing, you may find that you can stand up a little bit more upright. So we don't want to raise the hands and end up standing farther from the ball than we're used to. The farther away you stand, the more difficult you make the game. So I do this. So as I'm setting up, if this is conventional, I just raise the hands up like that. So I'm just raising them up. I also push the hands slightly forward, but what I'm doing is moving the hands into an uncocked position. So if you hold the club in front of you like this and let the hands relax, you'll find yourself in a position, what we call the wrists are in ulnar deviation. Really, it's just uncocked. I like to keep things as simple as possible. And it's just an uncocked position, and that's how we're going to set up to the ball. So once you get set up in that position, then I want you to make a few practice swings to get used to the feeling of setting up there. All we're really doing with this is setting up in the position that we're going to be in at impact anyway. If you've seen some of my recent videos, you see me showing you the difference between the top players over the last 50 or 60 years, where they are at setup and where they are at impact. And every one of them that I showed you, from Ben Hogan to Sam Snead, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Rory, and some others, every one of them are here at setup, and at impact they're all here in an uncocked wrist position. And so it's a huge benefit, and the biggest benefit to you of this method, setup for impact, is the easiest way you can learn to play golf, because we're simply setting up on our impact plane. So get used to this, just setting up in this position. I'll do it like this: set up, wrists uncocked, and then bend forward to the clubs on the ground, and then make a few practice swings. Notice where you're hitting the ground, because that's going to give you a good idea as to how far away you need to set up from the ball. So the second tip is to take your trailing arm and make sure that it's also on the same plane as the golf club. So if you held the club here horizontally, and this is the easiest way to start, we want to take the trailing arm here and make sure that it's on the same plane or at the same angle, at least to the elbow of the trailing arm. So we don't want to set up with the arm straight. And that was a problem with the Moe Norman swing, and the people copying that is starting with the arm straight like this. The problem is at impact, the arm is going to be bent in a proper swing. And so that what happens is, in order to hit the ball, you need to drop down quite a bit. That's why most people really struggle with that method. So if you would set up with the arms a little bit, the trailing arm a little bit bent, that's also how we're going to be going through impact. So to get the arm on plane, most of you will need to take the trailing arm and just turn it a little bit away from the target like this. And then as we slide it in there, it's in a position now where it's not going to have to rotate in order to square up the club. Now this is customizable. The amount that the trailing hand is under the grip is customizable, and in some cases we'll modify that to be a little bit less under or a little bit more under, depending on what the ball flight is doing. This is also, I help people step by step through learning my setup for impact golf swing on my website. Membership is very inexpensive and you can submit videos to me for my review. Basically, if you're too far under with the trailing hand, what will happen, you'll tend to hook the ball or have a closed club face. If you're too much on top, as many people are in the beginning, what happens is when you come into impact, the arm comes into alignment, but the club face is then open. So we want to get it in the right position where it's set up on plane like that, and then again make some swings to get used to it, making sure that you note how far away from your feet you're hitting the ground, because that's going to be your distance from the ball. Again, we don't want to stand too far away. So the third step, and really important once you have the hands raised up, as we talked about in the first step, and the second step, the trailing arm on plane, when we make swings, we want to see that we're getting good ground contact here, starting at the ball and beyond. And the main thing we're trying to do is just have a feeling that the club head is scraping along the ground. So it's coming in and it's scraping along the ground, which creates a nice flat spot through impact. And so our goal is to get a feel for that. A lot of people switching to single plane end up topping the ball, hitting it thin, and also sometimes hitting it fat to compensate for topping it. And the reason is they're used to compensating for the hands being low and then pulling away. And so we need to see that we focus, especially when we go on the golf course, we're focusing on the proper ground contact. So I'll do it like this when I'm set up. I'll try to get a feeling for impact. My body's going to be more turned, and then I want to see the grip is leading through impact and the club is just going to scrape along the ground. At the same time, the club's staying pretty square to the target as the sole of the club glides along the ground towards the target. So I'll start out getting used to hitting the ground just with some short swings, and that's part of my learning program that I have on my website also, that we're starting out getting a feel here for making contact there. Try to make sure that your head stays in position, which is in the back center of your stance. So between the center of your stance and the inside of your trailing foot, the head stays there as we're trying to make contact beyond the ball. Once you make a few swings and you make good ground contact there with a short swing, then we'll go to the ball. Make sure again, hands are up, trailing arms on plane, and then ground contact like that, dead straight, and a good impact. So, and that's kind of how I'll take it to the golf course, is I'll use my practice swings to get a feel for the lie and the rhythm of the swing, and then I'll go to the ball and just repeat that same thing. And that's just like a half swing just to get the feel for it. I see a lot of guys go out and, they're going to try this new swing and they get set up there and as hard as they can hit it. So most people have just one speed. So it's really to your benefit to slow down. My learning system takes you through 4 different swing lengths starting out, and really just starting with really short swings to get a feel for it. And of course, those short swings can be used for chip shots, pitch shots, and so on, working from a quarter swing to a half swing, 3/4 and full. And this is the simplest way to improve your golf swing, just learning step by step. Now, a lot of you just raising the hands up, getting on plane, as long as you have the right distance from the ball, you're going to hit the ball better overnight. So I get that a lot. You'll see that in the comments of my other videos, how people improved really quickly. And I'm sharing with you some of my top content here. So again, please subscribe here and like this video. It helps me a lot. So as we talk then about step 4, as you're going through this system here, is simply do not restrict your body. I see a lot of people, especially trying to copy Moe Norman or the single plane golf swing, they're restricting their body turn. They're trying to keep their feet on the ground. It looks kind of like this. And that's obviously a very unathletic motion. It's very unnatural. It's very hard to repeat, and it limits the speed that you can create. A recent video analysis that I did of Bryson DeChambeau, you can see his trailing foot coming up as he starts down in the swing. So his trailing heel's off the ground an inch or so through impact and well before impact. It has no effect on being able to hit the ball properly, as some have led you to believe that raising the heel and straightening the lead leg makes you raise up. It doesn't. You see, I can raise the heel and straighten the leading leg, and my body doesn't raise up. So all it's doing, it's a mechanism for getting my hips turned towards the target, getting turned and getting the body turned, which helps us not only increase speed, but it's also what helps us get the club, which also helps us get the grip leading through impact, which gives us that flat spot through impact, square club face, longer, and a consistently straight path. So it's really critical to not restrict the turning of the body. So I recommend people do this, try to feel how turned can you get at impact. So if I can get turned, say 40 degrees with my hips and upper body, then I'm making swings, and when I'm practicing, I'm trying to get there as I'm practicing, trying to get to that position. Much as if I was going to throw a rock or something, throw a ball, it'd be the same thing. I'd be turned towards the target as I'm releasing. So don't restrict. Look at my videos here on YouTube. On my website, I have the step-by-step program, which also allows you to send in videos for my review. So in the 5th step, we're going to talk about the grip and how to adjust the grip. You might notice that in the beginning of this video, step 1, I didn't really talk about how to put the hands on the golf club. And that's because I take care of that as we go along. If somebody comes to my schools or for lessons and they have a very strong grip, in the past, teaching Moe's swing, we had to make that neutral. And the problem for the poor person was they hit the ball so terribly for many months that most of them gave up. And the fact of the matter is that you can be successful at golf with a grip strength from here to here. So anywhere from very strong to neutral, there have been major champions. So you can be successful at single plane golf with any grip strength. Now, if you're hitting balls and you get into learning the swing and the ball's tending to hook and move to the left, meaning the club face is closed through impact, then we're going to take the leading hand and we're just going to move it slightly towards neutral. We're not moving it from strong all the way to neutral. We're just moving it from here a little bit, say a quarter of an inch over, and hit some balls and keep adjusting until you find the grip where the ball flies straight. Now you may go, if you go too far over, what will happen, you'll hit the ball and the club face will be open and it'll fly a little bit high and to the right. The same can be done if it's not the lead hand causing the issue. We can also take the trailing hand and adjust that slightly. So I like to feel like the palms are kind of opposing each other. But if we get too much on top with the trailing hand, the club face will tend to be open. Too much underneath, the club face will tend to be closed. So customize your grip and fit it to the swing. Now some people are hitting the ball to the left as a right-handed golfer because they're releasing it early. And so my drills on the website deal a lot with teaching you to release at the right time. A later release keeps the club from closing early. So that's also can be a factor. And again, members can send in videos for my review. You can check it out on my website, linked below. And again, please do me a huge favor, subscribe to my channel here. There's going to be a lot more content coming out. I have tons of videos here, all aimed at helping you improve your game as quickly as possible. So that's my ultimate goal, improve as quickly as possible. Comment in the box below. Any questions are appreciated. Again, subscribe, click the red button below, hit the bell to accept notifications, and like this video. It helps me tremendously. So thank you very much. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.